Yo, just a quick side note. It's actually Christmas over here. Let's get it. Yo, my name is Netrum and welcome to the video. So I've got a few people saying that this channel is fake because it has no content on it. Well, here you go. So today we're gonna break down my and Halvorsen's latest track called Shivers. It's out on NCS right now, so go check it out if you haven't yet. So this project started kind of as a joke. It still is a meme, but I'm very happy that we finished it. So here's the very first thing that I sent to Halvorsen. So it's basically this very playful 80s kind of stuff. So I sent that to Halvorsen, and maybe half an hour later, the dude comes up with lyrics, melody for the chorus, and it's absolutely fantastic. I love the melody in this track so much. Okay, moving on. So the first thing in the chorus is this bass line. It's moving quite a bit, but I think it works well with the 4 chords. So these are basically just 4 patches with a bunch of processing such as saturation, EQ, OTT, basic stuff, but makes it just a lot fatter. The next thing are these pads. Again, just a bunch of layers. And these are widened to the max, so they are very wide in the stereo spectrum. Then a nice little thing that I added here on these pads is this envelope follower, which actually is controlling this filter kind of, which gives it that nice wobbly analog feel. Interesting. Right. So the next thing are drums. Very simple. We've got a kick, we've got a snare, we've got some hats and some cymbals and toms, and all together it sounds like this. And all of these drums are just samples which are layered. Same with the toms. Snare is like 4 different samples. Just a lot of stuff to like feel the stereo spectrum, feel the different frequencies, and to make this stand out more from the verse, pretty much. After the chorus, I started working on the intro and verse. The intro is basically just a lo-fi version of the chorus, just a lot of filters and effects to make it more VHS. And of course, this big boy Reese over here. Overall, this Reese and then these break beats sort of hints towards the drum and bass section, which does come as a huge surprise, but they are just, giving little nods to that part. Now, I was just looking for it, but I can't seem to find the serum patch for this Reese. I think I accidentally deleted it when I was cleaning up this project for this breakdown. But yeah, I only have this bounce of it. It's a very simple sound though, like just 2 saw waves, detuned, a lot of distortion, filter, that's it. Then it's time for the verse. And now the verse is, again, very minimalistic. Just a lot of space for the vocals. And yeah, there's this nice, iconic flute sample. Okay, so now time for the drop. So the drop is very different from the rest of the track. It's like a smack in the face, very hard transients, much louder overall. So we've got some respaces here. So all of these are basically just chopped up from a serum patch, which I froze, threw in a sampler. Some bits are in a sampler, some bits are just audio, which I've like mangled a lot with different like Ableton warp modes it's just a mess, but it's a pretty nice mess actually. It supports the drop pretty well. Alright, then there's also this part. Sort of a more melodic part, and we've got this nice chords here. Sweet. So now at the end, Halvorsen did his magic with this guitar solo. So I think Halvorsen is going to talk more about that later in the video. It's perfect. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the vocal processing right now. So I love making vocals sound as huge as possible. And especially on a track like this where the vocals are in such a main role, they really need to stand out. So here's the verse vocal with all the effects enabled.
It started out on a Wednesday and I couldn't figure out why you would be mad at me.
Now without the effects.
It started out on a Wednesday and I couldn't figure out why you would be mad at me.
So we're basically, there's lots of compression, EQ, and then there's this distortion which makes it sound like an Xbox mic or something. Like it really destroys the audio. Now then we've got some doubles for enhancing the certain phrases and these very important ad-libs. These are a real vibe. Now the chorus sounds like this.
I get the shivers whenever I'm thinking about you. Just wanna live and live without you.
So lots of delay going on, and also the Xbox mic effect has been disabled, so it sounds all clear and nice right now, which makes it sound much bigger when it, transitions from the verse to the chorus. Then we've also got this vocoder, which, fills up the harmonies. We do have some harmonies over here that Halvorsen sent me.
Thinking about you. Just wanna live and live without you.
Really nice harmonies.
Be on my own again.
And then some doubles, which are basically supporting the main lead vocal.
Whenever I'm thinking about you. Just wanna live and live without you. Be on my own again.
Right, so that's about it. I hope you enjoyed it. Now it's time for the Rick Astley himself, Halvorsen, to say a few words about the project, the songwriting process, vocals, and just what really made this collab fun to work with in the first place. So yeah, see ya.
Hey, what's up you guys? I am Jacob, also known as Halvorsen. I will be talking a little bit about the songwriting, the vocal layers, and the guitar solo that I did for Shivers. But before jumping in, I wanted to thank Netrum for the opportunity to work on this project. It's been a freaking blast and definitely the most fun I've had on a project in 2020. So yeah, let's just take a look at the lyrics. So Shivers, lyrically, is a result of two different projects. The first one, which is the verse and the bridge sections, come from a song that I wrote back in 2016 called Right There. It was about identifying the problem in a relationship and blaming the partner for a problematic romance, and yeah, ended up using parts of that for this project, whereas the chorus is written for this specific one. It's written for Shivers, it's written for the instrumental that Netrum sent me. That's actually something that happens quite often, where I will write something for a project and then the project will be scrapped, and then I end up reusing those lyrics or that melody later on. So Shivers, structurally, is pretty basic. It has two verses, two choruses, and a bridge in the middle. The first verse introduces the problem in the relationship. It starts out on a Wednesday, when the protagonist can't figure out why his partner is mad at him. She says it's nothing, it never changes, and whenever they try to talk about this problem, it's always whatever anyway, and then he threatens to leave, which then transitions into the chorus. The chorus focuses more on how the protagonist feels. He gets the shivers whenever he thinks about his partner. He wants to leave and just live without her and be on his own again. And then, yeah, repeat and drop. After the first drop, we have the bridge. The bridge kind of sets the scene for what is about to happen in the second verse. We get the protagonist hyping himself up and explaining how he feels. He's scared. He has waited for this moment for a long time, and he's looking in her eyes, and he's about to say what he means and do what he threatened to do in the first verse. Then the second verse follows up on that. He wakes up the morning after, he feels the shivers coming back, but it's too much this time. He goes, it's over, and he just straight up leaves, which then transitions into the second chorus. So yeah, contrary to most pop songs, I decided to make the second chorus of Shivers slightly different to the first chorus. He's now talking in the past tense, saying that he used to get the shivers whenever he would think about her, but now that he's left and that he's on his own again, he feels better. Everything is fine because now he's alone again. And then drop. So with the songwriting out of the way, let's take a look at the recording itself. These are probably the stupidest vocals that I have ever recorded. Did my best at a Rick Astley impression with some Michael Jackson ad-libs. The processing is very reminiscent of the 80s and like Aha, that kind of sound with the slapback reverb and delay. And very, very, very saturated vocals. There are 8 layers of vocals stacked here. We have the lead, we have a set of doubles, one pan to left and one pan to right. We have 2 sets of harmonies, both are mono. And we have the ad-libs and falsetto and some backing vocals. The backing vocals are only for the second chorus. So I think for the final song, Netrum ended up actually doing the processing for the vocals himself because my vocal processing was lackluster. Fuck you. But I can talk a little bit about how I recorded the vocals and how I've put them together in post and the kind of effects that I put onto them. So I record all my vocals on my SE2200A2. Pretty good mic, very, very happy with it. I do not feed it through any kind of racks or compressors or saturators or any effects before it goes into my interface. I like doing all of that in post because I prefer having full manual control over the vocals after I've recorded them. So as an example, right out of the mic, but with pitch correction on it, we have the lead sounding like this.
It started out on a Wednesday and I couldn't figure out why you would be mad at me.
Whereas with compression and saturation and reverb and delay and all that goodness, it sounds like this.
It started out on a Wednesday and I couldn't figure out why you would be mad at me.
So yeah, processing does a lot. It's more than just auto-tune. And with all the layers of doubles and harmonies and the falsetto, which lies an octave above in the background, just like filling out the sound, it sounds like this.
Whenever I'm thinking about you, just wanna live and live without you. Be on my own again.
That is not fully mixed. These are just all the vocal layers stacked on top of each other. I wish I had the final vocal mix. I don't. I hope Netrum talks a little bit about it in his segment of the video that I haven't seen yet. But yeah, that's about it for the vocals. Freaking ad-libs. Again, very fun project. So icy. Yeah, the guitar solo. So, the guitar solo is not something that I improvised at all. It's very planned, and I probably took around 200 takes to get it right. I recorded the final thing that I ended up using raw into my interface, and then what I did was I played that audio back through my pedals and my amplifier, and then recorded my amp with a microphone. So, it's not a simulated amp. It sounds pretty good to my ears, and the guitar, dry, without any reverb or delay, sounds like this. Yeah, there are probably 50,000 guitarists out there who can tell me that my tone sucks and that my playing is bad. I don't care. It's for an EDM joke song that, by God, somehow got released. Yeah, no, I think it sounds alright. The last segment of it here, I'm playing on the harmonics, meaning that way. No, if I can show you. So yeah, instead of playing like clean notes, I slightly held my finger above the strings and then let go just as I pluck the note. So instead of, we get, so I did, and that sounds pretty dank with enough distortion on it. So yeah, that should be my end of things when it comes to how Shivers came to be as a song. I want to thank Netrum again for being a blast to work with. This was hilarious from start to finish. And to everyone out there watching, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to stream Shivers on all platforms, including Spotify. That's how I pay rent. And Merry Christmas.